do, baby? I am the Priceless Bride, and this is my journey to becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. So, I couldn't resist making a video. I am out here in these streets with my youngest son. We are free for the day of my oldest and my husband, which is a really nice break. This video won't be very long because it's hot in here, and that's not safe. Let me see if I can turn the windows down. You might hear some wind, so just deal with it. Alright. So I wanted to make this video about the moment. Living in the moment. The Bible says that you cannot add an hour, you can't add time to your life by worrying. So what's the point, right? For Christians, the option, instead of worrying, is to pray and let God handle it. So it's an active idea. It's a really you have to do it moment by moment, especially when there are things in your life that are really, really challenging. So, so living in the moment. I am a live in the moment kind of girl. Just now it popped in my head about Pretty Woman and how Julia Roberts' character Vivian asks Edward if he's a planner or if he's a moment-to-moment kind of guy. And at that moment she was like, you know, I wouldn't say that I'm a planner. I would say I'm a moment-to-moment kind of fly by the seats of my pants kind of girl. And I can kind of relate to that because for me, my understanding or my belief is tomorrow is not promised. So anything can happen in the blink of an eye. We're finite creatures. You know, we're in this body, we are finite creatures because we age, we get cuts, we get bruises, we get hurt, we get diseases, and then we die. But our souls live on. So in this body, it's a finite amount of time that we have to be here on earth. So nobody's immortal. There is no person living on this earth that's greater than 150 years old. I'm throwing it out there, right? There's not a old person beyond 100-something years old. So since we are finite bodies, anything can happen at any given moment. You know what I'm saying? You could be in a car accident, somebody can hit you with a car, you could be boxing with somebody and they give you like $1 million Baby, when the young lady was a really fantastic boxer, true story, really fantastic boxer. In the middle of her match, she went to take a break, broke her neck, never fought again, right? So my understanding is that since we have this minimal amount of time, why muddy it up with worrying? That's my mouthful. Also, by being way too occupied with things that don't bring intangible value. For example, some people are workaholics and they spend their whole life working 70, 80 hours a week or 60 hours a week, and they miss out on beautiful moments with family, friends, or just within themselves. And you can't get that time back. So that's why I say I'm a moment-to-moment kind of girl. You know, for moms, it's the thing of, oh, we're going to be late. Oh, you need to hurry up. I can't believe you're making me late. Hurry, hurry, hurry. And then we miss the moment that our son does something incredible, like tie his shoes for the first time because we're in a rush. Or for me, it was when my son, my oldest son, stayed on the we live in a condo, we live on the second floor, and this is going to make me cry. I'm so emotional right now today. I feel amazing. He stayed on the elevator when we got off on our floor to go to our home. And I was carrying the baby and I was carrying bags, and immediately I wanted to jump to frustration and aggravation and, him being disobedient and not listening to me. But I took a deep breath and I remembered really, really, really quickly that it can be a moment to make a memory, um, that our time is so precious. So I went back to go and see what he was doing. And I was so grateful that he hadn't pushed any buttons to go to a different level. So I got in the elevator before it closed, and he was grinning this beautiful big grin, and he was just so he was so happy with himself, because he was pressing the buttons on the elevator. And every time he pressed the button, he would laugh and giggle, and he would be overjoyed. And so he pressed the button to go to the basement. And instead of snatching him and getting off the elevator because I had all these things, and it was his nap time, he was actually really late for a nap. I stayed on the elevator and rode it with him. Now, we didn't ride up and down because that's unreasonable. That's an unreasonable expectation for mommy. But I let him take me on this tiny little journey, and I enjoyed so much watching him do this by himself. It was so beautiful. And God, it was so beautiful. And had I been in my own world, in my own thinking, and doing my own thing, not living in that moment, I would have missed that second of joy and achievement for him and his next level and step into independence. So I just finished at a farmer's market here, and I live in San Diego right now. And I'm just I'm shocked at myself about how emotional I am while we're transitioning. God, I'm so sorry. I've lived in San Diego for 6 years, and I used to be a really nomadic type person. I've lived in Florida, North Carolina, New York, and New Jersey, and San Diego now, most recently. And I've been okay with moving, but I've been ready to leave. I've been ready to leave San Diego pretty much almost as soon as I got here 6 years ago. And I never thought that I would meet the beautiful man of God that I am married to today. I never thought that I would actually get to be a stay-at-home mom. I never thought that I would grow to appreciate San Diego so much. But I remember, this is also another segue. I remember, though, when I decided to stay here, that I would ask God regularly to, even though I may never love it in San Diego, to help me appreciate the beauty in it. And so here I am at the farmer's market. There's a farmer's market here every single weekend, save 2. So 50 weeks a year, there is a farmer's market. I believe rain or shine. So we're walking, my baby and I are walking up the aisles and looking at all the vendors pursuing their dreams and making a big sacrifice to be out here. And I'm stopping at each merchant, getting my goods, and just chatting it up because I love talking to people. And I stopped and talked to this one lady. So I used to regularly get this honey from these people. Let me see if I can find this bottle. I used to regularly get honey from these people, and so this is one of the last times that I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna be able to get this honey. So we were talking a little bit, and I was telling her that I used to come a lot and get their honey, and now I'm moving away, so I wanted to get enough honey to last me for a little bit. So I'm like, oh, what's the 5-pound bottle? This is the 5-pound bottle. This is the 5-pound bottle. They have 1-pound bottles. They have 1-pound bottles for $10. I was getting ready to buy a 1-pound bottle, and then I just happened to glance at the bottom of the price list, and there was the $25 bottle, and I'm like, yo, let me get that $25 bottle. and they had orange blossom, orange cream, wildflower, buckwheat. I didn't really like that. Sage blossom. Um, and they were sold out of all these other bottles except for the one that I initially intended to get in the smaller bottle. So I felt like that was a sign from the Lord, right? I'm saving my husband money by spending this $25. So I get this bottle, and if you know anything about math, because I'm sure you guys are brilliant, that's $5 a pound instead of $10 a pound. 50% off. What? I was like, yes, let me get that. Now I'm going to have to explain to my husband why I spent $25 on honey. But honey, I saved you $25 because I got the big one instead of the little one. And it's gonna last mad long. And I was also thinking that I'm gonna share with my really good friend, because she likes honey. So I'm gonna take this little piece of San Diego with me when I go to my new home. And I'm walking up the street and enjoying these vendors, and I'm just realizing that these are the last few moments I have to enjoy my favorite pastime, which is eating outside with all these amazing people, and it's so much fun. Um, so it made me a little bit sad, but I really enjoyed it. So I want to encourage you um, to remember that this journey that we're on here on earth is a finite idea, right? Nobody lives past 150. So if you are caught up with things, I mean, sometimes you just have to get things done, but if you're so caught up with doing the day-to-day tasks, in your rudimentary kind of way, that you don't stop and see the beautiful things that are around you, you might miss things like playing on the elevator with your son, or catching your baby's first smile, or the chance to have a really important conversation with somebody who loves you, who needs your attention. So live in the moment as much as you can, and smile at those things that really really kind of create frustration. This is the Priceless Bride, and thank you for coming with me on my journey to becoming a Proverbs 31 woman.